Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to Joeboy Racing for another weekend preview. We've got some fantastic racing coming up, some Group 1 action. We've got a Group 2 race, a Group 3 race across Sandown and Haydock. So let's get stuck into all of my fancies for the upcoming weekend. I'll have a nap of the day. I've got a decent price nap of the day. Let's get into it. So we'll be covering Sandown's action first of all. We're going for the Coral Charge, a Group 3 5 furlong sprint, which is at 150. The selection here, I've put up Balmoral Lady. I've backed her each way at 8 to 1. She ran a really good race last time at Royal Ascot. She was on the wrong side. Now, I know Kurdos is also in this race today and ran against Balmoral Lady last time out and was on the wrong side also. But I think Kurdos, he managed to get closer to the centre of the course where all the action was going on, or closer towards the action. So he had a bit more to aim at. Whereas Balmoral Lady was forced down the rail and she still quickened up really impressively. She's only finished ninth, but in those big field sprints, they all finish in a heap on the line, and she wasn't too far off. It's interesting. Kieran Schumacher will be riding her for the first time. I'm hoping he can deliver a Kieran Schumacher masterclass. Just sit off the pace. He should have plenty to aim at, and then use that quickening ability to catch up and get his neck in front. There was another slightly larger each way bet that I may have on Manakan. Obviously finished in that same race 20 of 20, but he looked really good for the first sort of 4 furlongs, and it was his first race back after 2 years off the track. So I think at 50 to 1 there could be some value in there each way. They are paying extra places with a couple of firms. I was on with Corals for Balmoral Lady. They're paying 4 places, so at 50 to 1 I think there might be some each way value there if that has brought his fitness on. The next race we'll be covering at Sandown is the Coral Challenge at 225, a Class 2 handicap over 1 mile. And the selection for me here is Greek Order. I'm on Greek Order at 7 to 2. I believe he's shortened at time of recording to about 10 to 3, so he's still a backable price. Ran a big race behind My Cloud at Royal Ascot last time out. I think he has a big chance if he can replicate that sort of form, and Ascot hasn't taken too much out of him. I did like when the declarations come out. I was sort of beforehand on Urban Lion, who ran a big race at Ascot on the wrong side as well. And I know you'll be thinking surely Classic, who finished behind Urban Lion, would be the nod. But the fact that Ryan Moore has decided to ride Greek Order over Classic has just sort of edged me towards Greek Order. But still think he's got a great chance. Think he'll go well. I am going to have a small each way bet on Arisag as well at six. He's currently at 16 to 1 in places. I can see him drifting out to 18s or bigger. I will wait for best odds guaranteed, but I think he represents really good value in the market at that bigger price. So just a little cover bet. I have backed Greek Order. I will be backing Arisag as well if he's around that 16 to 1, 18 to 1 mark or bigger, as a small cover bet. The next race we have is the Coral Distaff Class 1 listed fillies race over 1 mile. This is a really hard race to pick one out. You could make a case for about 4 of them in here. The selection that I have decided to go with, out of those 4, the two that I narrowed it down to was Bermuda Longtail and Miss Tonnerre. The one that I've sided with is Bermuda Longtail at 7 to 1. Didn't run well at Epsom last time out, but it's one of those tracks where if the horse doesn't get on with it, they're going to run a stinker. Beforehand, run a really good race just behind Kontiki, who I actually put up in one of my Royal Ascot preview videos, and I think was in for this race before being withdrawn, and I probably would have got on her. So for those reasons, I think the ground's going to be good to firm, or at least on the firmer side of good. And I know Bermuda Longtail likes that sort of ground, which just sort of gives him the edge for me over Miss Tonnerre. Miss Tonnerre ran a stinker last time out in the Musadora. I think excuses can be made for that ride. I love Ed Walker, I love Kieran Schumacher. Put them up in the first race, obviously. However, I just think because of the ground, I'm going to side with Bermuda Longtail. If Miss Tonnerre drifts out to an even bigger price, currently at 10-1. I might jump on her for a little cover bet as well. But for me, I think Bermuda Longtail is a good selection. I think it's interesting as well. Oisin Murphy on board with all the controversy that's been surrounding him in this week. I think it's just one of them stories written in the stars that he's going to have a really good day at Sandown. So we'll see how that one pans out. Moving on to the 3:35, the big Group 1 race of the day, the Coral-Eclipse over 1 mile 2 furlongs. I gave Ombudsman my performance of the week when I done my Ascot review video. I thought he was sensational. I'm just a little bit concerned where he has run a massive Group 1 race that it might have taken a bit too much out of him for the quick turnaround, which is why I won't be backing him. I'm putting him up as my selection because I love the horse. He was a monster. I was on him when Al McCann beat him, and then I got off him because of that Al McCann loss in Ascot when he won. It's just that question mark over whether it's taken a bit too much out of him. Obviously, John and Thady Gosden know what they're doing. They probably wouldn't put him in if they thought too much had been taken out of him. But for me, at evens money, I'm not going to be getting stuck into that one. So a lot of people were saying about ruling court as well being value at 10-1. But I think for the same reasons, having a big race at Ascot not so long ago, I wouldn't be backing him. And also, he's sort of, since the 2000 Guineas, he's just sort of had a bit of a nightmare, isn't he, ruling court? Be nice to see him run well. Again, Oisin Murphy is on him. Second court appearance of the week for Oisin Murphy. I actually think Delacroix, if you do want to have a bet and you're not going to get stuck into Ombudsman, I think Delacroix is probably sort of the best angle. But like I say, it's one of those races where I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is, watch it. I'm hoping Ombudsman does do the business and prove that rating, people have said, oh, he shouldn't have got that inflated rating. I think he's class. Hopefully he does the business. But like I say, it's a no bet race for me. We're going to cover a couple of races at Haydock as well. Obviously, you have the Lancashire Oaks, which is at 240, a Group 2 over 1 mile 4. It's a really small field. A strange wins, I think. It was absolutely class last time out. And yeah, I'm not going to go into detail on this one. I just think a strange wins. If it was a bigger field and Scenic he was around 8-1, I think, when I was looking anti-post, and he was still around that price with the original field, I may have had a little each way play on Scenic because I think it's a solid horse. But yeah, no bet. Sit back, watch, and enjoy a strange win at odds on. I am going to give a shout out to one of the handicaps here at Haydock for the last race. Class 2 handicap over 1 mile 6 furlongs at 205. Really competitive handicap. I was actually at Chelmsford when Deepwater Bay won last time out. I actually missed the race, but I saw the replay in the pavilion or clubhouse, whatever you want to call it, afterwards, and it was impressive. But I think the fact that he's raced only a few days ago and that he's not a bigger price has put me off Deepwater Bay. I think he is going to be a good horse. Wish I had been there for the first race and jumped on him, but yeah, couldn't back him for me just because of that really quick turnaround. If I've got concerns about Ombudsman, I know it's obviously a much different class of race, but running a 1 mile 2, then someone who's won a run a 1 mile 6 4 or 5 days ago, I would have question marks about that. So you've got a really nice bit of Doncaster form in here with about 4 of these runners where they was all pretty close to each other. It's a tricky puzzle, but I've actually landed on the outsider of the field, a horse called Bonnie Moon at 18-1. There's forecast to be a little bit of rain about today, so about 4.6 mils, I think it was saying today. So I'm hoping that you do get a bit of juice in the ground at Haydock, which will favour Bonnie Moon. I think at 18-1 represents good value, had a good win in France, and is unexposed at the trip. So for me, small each way play, not getting stuck into it. But yeah, it would have to be Bonnie Moon in that one. Right, so that finishes our weekend preview, guys. Hopefully I've put up some winners for you. Oh, nap of the day. I'm going to put up as my nap of the day as Balmoral Lady. I think there's a lot to like about this filly. Based on her last run, I can see Kieran Schumacher just sitting off the pace, delivering it late to just get his head in front over the line. It's going to be a super competitive race, and I can't wait to watch it. So, Balmoral Lady. For my next best bet, I'm going to put up Bermuda Longtail in the 3 o'clock Class 1 fillies listed. I just think it's going to come good. She's back on a more straightforward track, on ground that she loves. Was really close to Contiki the time before Epsom. And yeah, again, Oshie Murphy in the saddle. I think it's almost sort of written in the stars that he's going to have a great day on Saturday. So they're my two main fancies, guys, for the day. Let me know down in the comments what you're on. Let me know what your nap of the day is. Let me know if you think any of my selections are donkeys. Let me know who you've got in the Coral-Eclipse. And give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm going to keep doing these preview videos. I recently put up a Chelmsford vlog, Chelmsford City race day vlog. I'm getting in a couple of practice runs for the bigger meetings coming up. I'm going to be at the July Festival, Newmarket, so we can bring you some top tier A Day at the Races vlogs. So good luck, guys, and happy punting.